But the class I am most excited for is novel writing. Coffee meetings every other week to talk about my novel. Someone's like dedicating a semester to help me with my novel. I'm so excited. Can you tell how excited I am? This is like amazing. I chose it because she was still in university when she wrote this, so that was really inspiring to me. Beloved by Toni Morrison. Total classic. I've been wanting to read this for so long. Firekeeper's Daughter by Angeline Bolie. Oh, hello. I didn't see you there. Welcome to my first days of school. Hello. If you've never watched any of my videos before, my name is Eunice Tan, and I am a creative writing major and journalism minor, and I'm a junior at university. And welcome to my first day of school in the spring semester. Today I am going to be prepping for my final round of interviews for an editorial internship with Penguin Random House. Tomorrow I'm having the interview, so today I'm just going to finish up on the prep that I've been doing. The imprint that I am being interviewed by is a children's and young adult imprint at Penguin Random House. So because of that, I'm gonna reread an article on editing for children, which I read last semester, and I'll be rereading it just to get a little more in tune with the imprint that I will be interviewing with. And I just wanted to show you a bit of the textbooks that I have for this semester. So I am taking an African American literature class this semester, which I'm super pumped for. And these are my textbooks for that. I have Beloved by Toni Morrison. Total classic. I've been wanting to read this for so long, so I am so pumped to finally read this in this class. And then I have the Norton Anthology of African American Literature. Yes, it was a rental. That's just to remind myself to return it. But this contains all sorts of literature by Frederick Douglass and many other big names in the African American literature world. So can't wait for that. And then I'm also taking a literary criticism class, and for that I have this book, Frankenstein by Mary Shelley, and this edition is complete with literary criticism commentary on the text. So yeah, I'm interested to see that side of literary criticism that I'm not as well versed in as I am with writing, you know? But yeah, looking forward to that. Lastly, I have a biography of the English language, which, you know, is for my history of the English language class. It's one of the required classes for English majors, and I'm gonna learn Old English and things like that. Gonna learn how to read all the Old English texts. Yeah, it's gonna be exciting. And I lied because I just realized that I actually have more textbooks. I am super excited. I am most excited for this class. Oh yes, before I go on to the textbooks for this class, I just want to say I also have a journalism practicum class, but I don't have any textbooks for that because it's a practicum. Basically, I will be writing for our school's magazine. It's an award-winning magazine, and I've written many articles on it before because I took journalism practicum like 2 semesters ago. But the class I am most excited for is novel writing. So this is a really special independent study that is offered here at my university. Actually, it's not like an official course or anything. The course number's name is independent study, and it's up to you to make it whatever you want to make it. And basically you choose a faculty member who will be willing to be your mentor in the independent study, and then you basically work with them throughout the semester on whatever independent study you choose. And for me, I'm working on a novel. So for those of you who don't know, I'm currently working on a novel which is set in my home country of Malaysia during World War II in 1945. And yeah, it is very much my passion project, and it is what I want to do. I want to publish novels, mostly for young adults, um, inspired by my culture, because I'm so passionate about illuminating diverse voices through the written word. So yeah, I have finished the first half of my novel in about like 1 month ish, at the end of 2022, and then right now at the beginning of 2023. My goal for this independent study is by the end of the spring semester I want to have a complete manuscript. And given that I finished the first half in just over a month, I think that is going to be possible. And I will say the second half of a novel is a lot harder to write, because I don't know, for me at least, like the beginning might be more exciting, and then when you reach the middle you might feel a little stuck, and it's called like the messy, murky middle, and I'm definitely feeling a bit of that. But I'm still excited, and what has really helped me still feel excited is actually going back and because for this class, like every week I have to send 3 chapters to my professor, and she hasn't read any of my manuscript yet. So yesterday I read through and revised my first 3 chapters, and that actually helped me like put myself in perspective, like, oh yes, this is like where my story started and whatever, and then it sort of like reset my perspective for where the rest of the story should go. Even though I already have an outline, like I just needed to get that like mindset um reset. So that might actually be helpful. I know people always give the advice of like don't edit while you write. Um for me personally, it works when I edit while I write sometimes. Like I would like to push back on that a bit just for in my experience. I try to shy away from editing while I'm writing a new chapter, but when I am looking back at previous chapters to get a bit of a mindset like reset, I do edit because like I'm informed of things in future chapters that I wasn't at the time, and by editing that it actually helps inform my future writing. So that's just my little take on that. That was a tangent. But for my novel writing class, I have this textbook, Structuring Your Novel. Oh, that's the workbook. This is the textbook. Structuring Your Novel, Essential Keys for Writing an Outstanding Story by K.M. Leland. Yeah, I've heard a lot about her. I've not read this book yet, but I'm going to read the first chapter before our first meeting, and it's all about the hook of your story. So this is going to help inform me as we move through, like, I'm going to read about the hook, and then we'll be reading the hook of my novel, and then my professor will be giving me advice. It's going to be great. We're going to have like one-on-one coffee meetings every other week to talk about my novel. Someone is like dedicating a semester to help me with my novel. I'm so excited. Can you tell how excited I am? This is like amazing. I'm Please, if you are looking to become a creative writing major, or if you already are, like make sure that you go to university that allows you to request for this type of independent study, or has a form of like workshop for a novel if that's what you're interested in. Because one thing I've noticed in a lot of creative writing circles is, I mean, creative writing academic circles, is that they focus a lot on short stories. But for those who want to specialize in the craft of novels, like a lot of the collegiate environments are not as friendly to that. So make sure that you are in one that is friendly to that. And I'm glad that I am. Yes. And this is just the workbook where inside like just there are little fill-ins for you to like fill in, like what am I gonna write in my midpoint, what is gonna be the conflict, the hook, yeah, so I'm gonna do that as well. Yes, and I actually have more for that class. We're reading a bunch of novels to help inform my own novel writing. Yes, I'm sorry. I really like showed you. I was like, here's all my textbooks, just like 4 books, and there are much more. um, yeah, so these novels I personally picked out. Firstly, I chose this novel called These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. I chose it because she was still in university when she wrote this, so that was really inspiring to me. Also, I relate with the Asian, like Chinese culture aspect. My character is Malaysian Chinese, partly Malaysian Chinese, so Even though the culture is a little different because this is set in 1920s Shanghai, it's still like style of writing and the plot and um, the romance element, all that. I definitely can take inspiration from this, and I've already started reading it. As you can see, I have some annotations, and I plan to finish this before next Thursday, before our first meeting, so we can discuss it. Oh, yes, and if you don't know, this book is basically an adaptation of a really interesting twist on Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet, but set in 1920 Shanghai. And it features basically Juliet's Sai, so she's Juliet, and then Roma Montagov, who's like Romeo, and they're basically like parts of rival gangs, and they have a blood feud between them. And it's really interesting seeing this go down in the setting of um, Shanghai. Yeah, super interesting setting. I have Firekeeper's Daughter by Angeline Bolie, and this is I'm so excited for this one. I've already started a bit of it. It's basically about this 18-year-old girl, Donis, who is half white and half Native American. And she basically gets caught up in like a drug scheme, and she gets recruited to go undercover for the FBI to help like protect her tribe from this. That's my understanding of the plot. New York Times #1 bestseller. I know it won a bunch of awards for like best young adult novel, and yeah, and I just got to the part where things were starting to ramp up. Like it starts off a little slow, but then after a couple of chapters, like it gets really interesting when the FBI stuff and the tragedy starts. And I am most excited to be informed on the Native American culture because as someone who comes from Malaysia and I've only heard like I have gone to the Native American Museum and like heard scattered bits of information about their culture, but I've never been like really immersed in the point of view of one of their members, and to learn things about the tribes that don't have to do with just like the colonization aspect, but about like their beautiful culture and their day-to-day life. I've never really gotten to experience that, so I'm gonna do that through this book, and I can't wait for it. And then this is a book that I've already read, but I chose it because I want to sort of like review it because The Rice Mother by Rani Monica. It is also set in Malaysia, and it's like a family saga. So part of it, a big chunk of it, is also set in World War II Malaysia, occupied by the Japanese. So it was mostly because of that. Also, it's like centered on a family. The writing is beautiful. This has won a bunch of awards as well. So I wanted to like re-study this and learn from the prose and also be inspired by a fellow Malaysian author, and also like a similar setting with the Japanese occupation element. So yeah, Rice Mother by Rani Monica. And then the next one is The Weight of Our Sky by Hannah Alkoff. Also a Malaysian novel. We love the rep. There are not many Malaysian novels or authors out there at all, so I get super excited whenever I find one that is good and has been successful. So this one has been. It's The Weight of Our Sky by Hannah Alkoff. It is set in the May 13, 1969 racial riots in Malaysia, which was like a big, horrible, violent uproar between the Malays and Chinese in Malaysia. I wrote a short story based in that racial riot as well, which actually is getting published by Sigma Tau Delta's Rectangle Journal. And yeah, I'll be actually reading that in an international convention in March. So I'm super excited for that. And I'm just so inspired that there's someone else like who wrote a whole book about that, because this racial riot is not talked a lot, even in Malaysia itself or around the world. And I think there are many hard and poignant but necessary lessons to be learned from that time of history. And yeah, I just think her story is amazing too, so I can't wait to read this. I've read the graphic novel form, which is on Webtoon, and it's awesome, but right now I will get to read the novel form, which was its original form. So, and then How Much of These Hills is Gold? And I promise this is the last one, okay? This is How Much of These Hills is Gold by C. Pam Jong, and it was longlisted for the 2020 Booker Prize and New York Times Notable Book. Basically, I haven't really dived into this one yet, but it's about the children, like the orphaned children of immigrants, Chinese immigrants to America, and basically about how they amble through life. That's how I understand it, to make it short and sweet. But it's like it blends Chinese symbolism and myths into fiercely original language and storytelling, an unforgettable sibling story, a haunting adventure story, and an exploration of race and belonging. So that's what it says at the back, and sounds like it definitely has a lot for me to learn from. And I also love the Asian representation. And Si Pam Jong is an awesome writer. I've read one of her short stories, which really stuck out to me, and I learned so much from that short story, so I'm definitely going to learn a lot from her in this novel. So yeah, that wraps up my little like course and textbook introduction. Let's go. Oh god, it's sunny. This does not feel like winter at all. No, it's not winter. It's so bright I can't even see myself in the camera. Before I forget, I wanted to tell you this. I spent only $40 on all my textbooks. And how did I do that? The answer is dealoz.com. Key in DEALOZ.com, key in the ISBN of your book on there, and then it will tell you the cheapest deals. Cheapest deals for used copies, new copies, rentals, whatever. It's all there. I swear by it. This is how I spent only $40 on all my textbooks this semester. Go check it out. So I have a question. Why are dumplings called freaking pot stickers in the South? Because if they stick to the pot, something is seriously wrong with them. Well, let's try this pot sticker that did not stick to the pot, shall we? So I am out of my one and only class for today. Yes, Tuesdays and Thursdays are heaven for me. And it was my African American literature class. It was great. There are only 2 of us students in this class. I entered the conference room. It was literally my teacher and this other student, and he said, "Welcome everyone." And we were like, but it's okay. I'm already so excited for this class. Although it wasn't able to gain a lot of traction, I wish that it did, and they're trying to get more students right now, so I really hope that they do. So I just cooked a special dinner. My boyfriend's back from working at the library. Yay! And fried pork that I grilled. I fried them in oil, seasoned them. They're super yummy.
They smell so good.
Thank you. I know they do. So it's time for us to enjoy right now while we have the Soul Season 2. And yeah, Well, I think I'm just gonna end the vlog here. Thank you so much for watching my first day of school vlog. And right now we're gonna enjoy these noodles, and I'll see you next time for more content. Just remember, focus on the little things to make a big change. Love ya!